Santa is coming to Minnesota. This story is written by Steve Smallman, and Santa's going to come to Nevada too, Las Vegas. But this is when he comes to Minnesota, what he does, Addie. So Esme will know these places, and Addie has been to these places too. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Minnesota and Nevada been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Minnesota and Las Vegas had sent to him. Mostly, asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, they've all been good, especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we better get their presents loaded up. Look at all the letters. Have you been good, girls? Even though the sack of presents was really, really, really big, and the elves were really, really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it onto Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack onto one little sleigh, even they didn't know, but somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Look at all those words. Look at that big bag. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeer is missing. Uh-oh, they're missing a reindeer. What are they going to do for that? Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him and I've called him, but... Just then, a young reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. The youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the old elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa knave and tapped in the coordinates for Minnesota, and after that he tapped in the coordinates for Las Vegas. This will guide us to Minnesota and Las Vegas in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the land of 10,000 lakes and the land of the desert, Vegas. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south and across Hudson Bay. They flew in the wintry air over the boundary waters. In a wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above the Iron Range and on to the Twin Cities. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He'd never been away from the North Pole before. They had just crossed over Breezy Point when suddenly they ran into a blizzard. Snowflakes whirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa knave in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But ma'am, Santa blustered, I don't see any stars in all this snow. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Oh no. Then, through the howling blizzard, the youngest reindeer heard a faint, ringing sound. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose, but he had his head down. Red nose. I wonder what reindeer that was. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with a little box with buttons on it. With a flick of the harness, and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off toward the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. Now, can you see the reindeer with the red nose? It's not very red, but I see it. Ding dong, ding dong. Whoa, cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. What's going on? Then, to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. Well done, young reindeer, he shouted. It must be the bells of the St. Paul's Cathedral. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the snow clouds. You have arrived, said the Santa navigator unhelpfully. Look at the packages flying. You have arrived. That's his GPS. Finally, when the snow had died down and the clouds parted, Santa discovered exactly where they were, stuck right at the top of the Minnesota State Capitol. Everybody pull! The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the dome and Santa steered them safely past the Minnesota History Center, above the Minnesota Children's Museum, over the Mississippi River, and down into Minnehaha Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted again and got the presents in order. All right, said Santa, thanks to the young reindeer, I know where we are now. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over Minnesota, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could, which was pretty fast for a chubby fellow. There were big chimneys in Bloomington, small chimneys in St. Cloud. He squeezed down the chimneys in Minneapolis, and he went down fat chimneys in Shakopee. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children in Minnesota were going to be very happy this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a little bit weary and quite hungry. In house after house, oh, I better show you that picture. Here's the little reindeer. Looks pretty hungry and pretty tired. In house after house, Santa delved inside his sack of packages for every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the children of Minnesota had left out a plate of cookies and a small glass of milk and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack. Who is he going to give the carrots to? From Winona to Rousseau to Duluth, they went to every house in Minnesota. And then they decided, here we go again. We have to go far away. Finally, the last present on the Minnesota list. Great moons and stars, it's past midnight, and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I haven't forgotten anyone. Santa opened his sack to check. It was full of presents and juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. Well done, he said. And he said, now that you've gotten some food, we have to go to the next journey. We have to travel across the Mississippi River, across Mount Rushmore. We're going to cross the Rocky Mountains, and then we are going to land in Las Vegas. And we're going to land at a house that has a little girl and a baby brother. And it's Addie Warner and baby brother Warner. And look, he's going to find food at your house. And don't forget the carrot for that little young reindeer. And when he leaves Las Vegas, he's going to fly over Mount Charleston, and he's going to go over the Rocky Mountains again, and he's going to keep going and deliver presents to Andrew, Ellison, Anna, Arabella, Ashley, Esme, Maya, Uma, Papa, Grandma, Grandpa, Daddy, Mommy, Uncle David, Aunt Caroline, Uncle Joe, Aunt Naomi, and we're all going to get presents on Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. Thank you, Santa. Thank you. Good luck. Go back to the North Pole. Here are the presents. The end.